a Christian quadriplegic. She's been disabled for 50 years. We went with her ministry, Johnny and Friends, who provides events and outings for disabled families of those that are disabled. Anyway, we have now been picked up by all 19 regions in the U.S. Johnny herself wants us to come to California when things get better. It's just getting really, it's growing fast. But I tell you all that because we also have been picked up by Cincinnati Children's Hospital, and through for 8 weeks in September and October, we will be taking children from Cincinnati Children's Hospital hiking at a different park each Saturday. And I would love to see our church start getting involved. And it does require physical activity to be able to carry the equipment. It's not really that hard. But we also would just love people to, we have a whole list of things people can do, whether that's praying, writing thank you cards to donors, just going on the hikes and just talking to family members, not necessarily carrying the person. But I would love to see our church get involved because it's a really cool ministry, and it provides something. We actually, the first time I went, we took Margie and Jean out to Caesars Creek, just as we were trying to build it up. And she said that was the first time she had gotten to go hiking in 20 years because of her accident. And I asked her if she would do it again, and she said, oh, absolutely. So if y'all are interested in going on any of these hikes, then give me your information. But there may be some stuff we can do on Sunday mornings, putting cinch bags together to hand out and just different stuff. So I just wanted to share that ministry with you and let you know you're going to hear more about it coming up. So, yeah.
I'll give you a little update. It's been a while. I'm the associational secretary now. It's been a while since we've had a meeting, but the last meeting we had with Resurrection Crossing, Pastor Joe was asking the churches not to give to them anymore. They think they could stand alone.
Okay.
Now, I don't know, since COVID hit, they were going to try to apply for aid when COVID hit, and I don't know, we haven't had a meeting or anything
Okay.
since, but we'd already paid up for the year.
Okay.
And so they were like, that was great, but next year I think they're looking at, just churches bowing out.
Well, and we had talked about that, but it always kept seeming like everyone else was bowing out, so if not everybody bowed out at once, so it would feel good to know that they're requesting that when we do finally say we're done, because so if we've already done this year, then we'll put that note for next year that we might move on.
Any other questions for Trish about missions?
Why don't you ask Beth?
Beth, do you want to give an update, or do you want me to just share what you said the other day? You're welcome to. I think I've said enough.
We will be doing some form of the shoe boxes. We're not exactly sure. They do have on their website a COVID update that they're trying to keep people notified of what's going on. They said they're watching not only nationally but internationally so that they can fall into everyone's rules, and they're trying to let people know suggestions of how to handle it. So we'll keep you posted, but we're hoping in some form. The shoe boxes have been ordered. You can get online too and build a shoe box. It's a little costly. It's $25, but you can get on and choose what things you want to put in the shoe box, and that includes your postage too. So, but we are going forward with it in some form or other. So thank you. Thanks, Trish.
Okay. Any questions for Trish? Raise your hand. Oh, what's your question? What are we going to have a garage sale or church sale for the missions?
I was not planning on it this year. I mean, if there's a lot of interest, we could explore that. I don't know what the turnout would be with everything that's going on. Maybe people are looking to buy things at garage sale because their budgets are tighter. I'm not working, so I would be able to help with that some, but I don't
Can we open it up for discussion?
I mean, if people are interested in it, I'm not going to just shoot it down if more people, but I don't want to be the only one doing it. We don't have if we could talk about what it goes to, we still have all of our money from our last Haiti trip, so we can always raise more money for missions. There's, but are you volunteering as a retiree that you would like to help run the garage?
Yeah, I was actually going to say that, believe it or not. Now that I'm retired and got a pick-em-up truck, I can be very helpful. Besides which, I have a basement full of stuff that I've been saving.
I want to have a garage sale, so.
Hey, can I say something? Billy and Connie and Margie, let me just kind of bring you guys into the thing. But we've been sponsoring a church that was restarted in Xenia. That's Resurrection Crossing. Okay? Kirkwood is our church camp, and they haven't had camps this week or this summer because of COVID. We always have a rummage sale, and that was contributing to the Haiti mission trip, and some of us have gone, 3 years in a row now, 2 years in a row. But that's been put on hold because of, so that's some explanation there. I bet you guys know what Samaritan's Purse, the shoeboxes are. Okay, all right? I just thought it'd help them stay in the loop with us, okay?
All right. I cannot make a motion because I'm the moderator,
Yeah.
but I'd like to hear somebody make a motion about the
Well-
rummage sale.
Do you all have stuff that could sell?
Okay.
We can always find stuff. I just don't want to be people have always volunteered, but it's a lot of work, so I don't want to be the only one.
And are we going to get a good turnout for people to stop? I mean, I've seen some garage sales out and about,
Yeah.
but I don't know how well they've done. But it is a lot of work.
Okay.
Let us know.
Can I make a motion that we discuss it further?
Maybe
Those
for
that
Yeah.
fall.
Well, I don't even think you need a motion because being the head of the missions committee, it's your decision because that money, that funding we get from there would go directly to missions, not to the church. So it's up to you. If you decide that you don't want to do it, that's fine. I will volunteer as much of my time as necessary, and I'm sure everybody else will too. So we're not going to leave you out in the cold. Okay? Okay.
I will put more thought into it then.
Okay.
Next I can.
I want to talk a little bit about to our newest members a little bit about Haiti and how it impacted me. As Trish mentioned, my wife passed away recently. We were married for 46 years, and she battled cancer for the last 8.5 years. The last 2 trips that went to Haiti, we were going to go. And the first one, she was on active chemo. The second one, she was in between chemo. And I asked the doctor if we could go. And he said, how far is the nearest hospital to where the orphanage is?
Ooh.
And I said, I think it's over an hour. And he just shook his head. And he said, it's your decision. He said, but if it was my wife, she wouldn't go. When my wife passed away, in lieu of flowers, I asked for donations. And this is the kind of church you guys have just become a member of. And this is what a church family is all about. I think that the donations were somewhere around, personal donations were somewhere around $3,000 for this little church.
It's $34.38.
$34.38 for this little church. And then the church matched that. Okay, so that took that well over $6,000. Enough to build and I'm going to get tears when I talk about this, a classroom in the orphanage that my wife and I always wanted to go to. And I know we're a little country church and we're out in the middle of nowhere, but that is what church family does for people. So you made a good decision to join our church. Okay. Do we need to say any more about Kirkwood? I don't think there's much going on, right? Okay.
Jim even said that they may not even be able to open this fall.
Okay.
We have bought a log splitter. The pastor tried it out. It's now at Michael Ann's house because she wants to try it out before we get it out there. But there's no pressing need to get it to Kirkwood.
Okay.
So anyway, so we have a log splitter. We'll deliver it. But Michael Ann, hurry and get done with it.
Me?
Yeah.
What, the log splitter?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Okay.
did have one more thing. Those
All right.
of y'all that don't get the emails, the Osterbrocks have to come back to Ohio for a little bit. cannot go back to Malaysia right now because of all that's going on, and so they had to make the decision to come back to Hamilton, and he's doing all of his seminary teaching for the Malaysian school online. So he's still doing that, but I don't know if they're back or they're coming back any day now. So that's an update on them. So they will be back in the States, but they're also still serving while they are teaching using the online platform.
So we still submit to international
Yeah.
ministries?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
still part of that.
Okay.
All right. Then moving on to building and grounds, since there's nothing there, we'll just continue on. Go ahead, Fred. Fill us in on building and grounds, Fred. Come on, buddy.
Everything's doing fine around the church. Really only one thing I haven't done was put a valve in the toilet downstairs. Don Lamar came to me yesterday and said it wasn't flushing. And Lord, I was hoping he was doing number one. So I think I can think of it. And I'm still scared to go down there and see what's it all about.
Okay.
But as far as everything else is running fine. Our air conditioner's hanging in there from when we got repaired last year. The only thing that I think is going to need attention later on is our roof in the kitchen there. Some really looking bad spots.
Yeah, there's spots. I noticed that Sunday. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Other than that, nobody's complained anything. So.
from a personal standpoint, Fred, and I know I probably speak for other people too, I think you guys have done a fantastic job. I'm very proud of this church. It looks beautiful. The sign, I think just makes this little country church stand out. And I know you and a little bit of me were part of that. And I just really feel proud when I pull in into the parking lot, as long as you're not in my parking spot.
The lawnmower's still on its last leg, I guess.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. We'll have to see if we can't find one somewhere.
There's one on sale at Lowe's. I'm getting ready to buy one.
Okay. Then any questions?
Just park it here in the
She's got
barn.
old ones she's gonna donate.
No, my old one.
Is gone.
Oh, she wants it, so.
Okay. Well, I could let you borrow my lawnmower because it's Corbin, and Corbin owes me a lot of lawn mowing. So, all right. Any questions for Fred on building and grounds? Okay. Let's move on to tech department,
Can I speak to
and
that?
I'm gonna let Pastor speak to that.
This week I got a letter from Al and Jesse, and with the COVID and not having church and them wanting to stay away, Jesse has compromised health. They started finding out that there was a church across the street from them. Lynn, what's that spot in the road called?
Ridgeville.
Ridgeville. They live in Ridgeville, and the old Ridgeville church is reopened, so they've made some visits. And not that they don't love us, but they can walk over there in 30 seconds, and it's right there. And so they've sent me a letter stating that they needed to be replaced back there at the sound booth. Some things I put on the agenda is that right now, just like I'm doing, we're speaking to my phone, and then I actually send a voice memo to Jesse, and he puts it out on the podcast. And I told him we were going to try to do that tonight for the business meeting. Anybody who replaces Al and Jesse needs to learn, not that you know how to do this now, except maybe Dakota does, but learn how to record and immediately put the podcast on the website. There's the reproduction of flash drives, and John, I'm sure that you haven't been taking the little thumb drives to our shut-ins, but again, hopefully pretty soon we can get back to doing that. Harold, you're taking care of the FM broadcasting, and I'm assuming that we still need to do that because I'm sure that some people just don't want to come in because they've had a chemo treatment or they've got compromised health. So that's been working swimmingly, I would say. But basically we need somebody that would be willing to tackle this and manage it. And quite frankly, I don't know who that might be. It'd have to be somebody in their 20s or 30s that is more tech than